Hey, what's going on everyone? This is GBall, and today we're taking a look at a knife coming in from KniClad Knives. They are an up-and-coming knife company who has recently released several designs, and we have one of them here. Now, if you've never stopped by before, welcome to GBall Vision. Let me know down in the comments what your EDC is looking like today. The star of the show is going to be called the Lyrin. It is being released in two different versions, at least for now, and they are going to retail for just under $200. And wait till we get into this thing. I think there's a lot of value here. Out of the box, I've been pleasantly surprised. The build quality, fit and finish of their knives is definitely on point. It is perfectly centered up right out of the box. And wait till we open this blade up. It has a beautiful detent, really nice acoustics, front flipper and cutout for the deployment, and they both work really well. We'll start off with that front flipper, but this thing just thwacks out of there. And we're looking at a hand satin M390 harpoon sheepsfoot blade. M390 is quoted at 60 to 62 HRC, has a nice sharpening choil, 50-50 area there. Working our way down, a custom show side pivot with a pivot collar. I think that looks really clean. Titanium for the handles and bolsters. Some onlays that would resemble jungle wear fat carbon fiber. A floating titanium backspacer. I think that looks really, really clean. A milled titanium clip with no exposed hardware. And I love how they ran the onlay up all the way over that lock bar. You just have a tiny little bit that's going to be exposed. I think that looks really, really good. You do have great access to the lock bar, and that is chamfered off nicely, so it'll be easy to get to and disengage. For the thumb flickers, you're going to love this thing. Reverse flick is absolute money. And then you have that third option of the front flipper, which you'll be able to do all the front flipper things your little heart desires over the top, the reach around, the finger rollover, whatever you want. It works really, really good. I think this is a clean looking design right here and a really good looking knife. It's also not a small knife either. Let's get the old measuring tape out here and we'll see what we're really looking at. Going to come in at 7 3/4 inches overall. We're looking at 2.99 inches of cutting edge, and then we'll say 3 3/8 of total blade. For some comparison knives, we have the Spyderco Para 3 up top and the Paramilitary 2 on the bottom, and this is going to fall right in between both of those. For the final comparison, we're going to bring out the brother to this knife, the KniClad Moel, the first knife we ever checked out from KniClad, and it gave me a really good impression of the company and their knives. I really only had one minor gripe with this knife, and it could be with just my specific one. I haven't heard anything from anyone else about it, but it came out of the box with the slightest hint of up and down play while it's locked up. I have put this through on video and off camera, different rounds of lock test, and it is locked up very solid. But it is a thing with this knife. It has just the slightest bit of up and down. Can't even really catch it on camera. So it could be just kind of a one-off situation, but here again, it is a situation that I want to bring to the forefront. The difference is going to be that the Moel came in S35VN, where the Lyrin is going to come in M390. One thing is for sure, they are both good looking knives and they seem to be finished really well. We're going to get the 50 ways baked in GBall Vision Hank here and get a look at this pocket clip. And this is going to be right up my alley here. We have about a 1/2 inch poking out at the tallest point, maybe about a 1/4 inch or so there at the lowest. It's going to look nice and clean in the pocket. That'll give you a little bit to grab a hold of while it's down in your pocket and give you a secure grip on that thing. Plenty of clearance under there, and that looks like it's going to be done really well. The retention is nice, not too strong, not too weak. I would say that is right on the money. It is going to be right hand carry only for the pocket clip, though no lefty love on this one. Next up, we're going to get a weight check on this feller, and for that we're going to need the arch nemesis. I like to play a little game here on the channel with the new knives that come in. I attempt to guess the weight and invite you to play along. You can put your guess down in the comments, ounces or grams, whichever you prefer. Even if you already have a comment down there, go ahead and put your guess. And if you're enjoying this video, you like knives and gear, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you never miss another video. I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to say it doesn't have a ton of weight to it. Not a huge knife, not a small knife, 7.5 overall. We do have a titanium handle, but a lot of that has basically been cut away and then refilled with carbon fiber, which is very lightweight stuff. I was about 0.4 off on my last video that I did. I'm going to say that this one is coming in right there at like a 3-ounce knife. Does that feel right? 3.1-ish? I'm going to go, I'm going to go 3.1. Lock me in. 3.1. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh! Yes! I'll take that, baby. I thought I was deceiving myself a little bit. That's actually pretty light for a titanium handled knife, but they have found a way to really cut the pounds away with these pocket knives. 90 to 92 grams for those of you driving, and about 3.2 ounces. We're going to change gears here and get the calipers out. They are zeroed off. We're going to get a couple of measurements on this handle and blade. We'll start off with the handle thickness. That is 0.47 and 12 millimeters on the nose. Roll around here and we'll get a click on the blade stock thickness. That's going to come in at 2.9 millimeters, which I think is 115 thousandths. Yeah, look at me, baby. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, baby. I'm learning millimeters. Don't think I'll remember that, though. 115 thousandths. So it's staying fairly thin. Let's give it that. It is fairly thin. But the great thing is it's nice and tall. So they were probably able to bring that down as thin as they wanted. Let's get a look here at the BTE, also known as the behind the edge. We're just getting a measurement there directly behind the edge to see how thin it is. And this is going to come down there at a straight 20 thousandths. It could be even a little lower. And I think we would be down there at like an 18, 19 thousandths. Let's see how this cuts out of the box. We'll start off with just a full edge check here. We know that when M390 is done properly, up above a 60 to a 63, we know we're going to get a good steel, especially people who enjoy edge retention. It's going to have that in spades. It is a good corrosion resistant steel, and it's fairly tough, not ultra tough or anything like that, but it is still a steel, and it is used all the time in pocket knives. I don't think the toughness has really ever come into question. It's always been about the heat treat, and if KniClad is hitting the 60 at minimum, that is beautiful to see and to hear, and hopefully those numbers continue to stay that way and they come out that way. But the edge on this fella, it seems to be good to go here with the paper. This is for that one wine bag out there. We're going to cut some paracord here just to see what happens. Gonna run it just along the edge just to see. Nice, pretty quick. Let's put it through. We'll do a little hoop-de-hoop. This is just standard 550 cord. Give it a couple little obstacles to go through. It's going through it like butter though. Not even putting barely any pressure on this thing, and it's going right through. Good to see. If we start it back here and just kind of slide it forward, let's do a little test here. And I'm just going to pull back on the paracord. Wow. I mean, I'm holding my own, but I'm just pulling back there. I'm holding the blade, but just running it along that edge is cutting it. That is really, really good to see. Depending on what kind of surface you're on, sheep's foots are great utility type blades. Going to work really well. That is nice and sharp. Ergonomically, it feels pretty good. I would say like if I'm really bearing down on it, I feel like right here. Not that it hurts my little patties or anything like that. I'm just saying I can feel the frame of the knife. But all in all, it feels pretty good. Now if I choke up here, that actually cuts that out completely. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Choked up there. I think the only thing at that point I feel is the pocket clip, which is natural. All folding knives are going to have that pocket clip. So, and like here again, that doesn't hurt my little patties. Seems like this knife is going to hold its own when it comes to that blade. I think that's going to work really well. We're going to get our off-grid driver out here, see what we're looking at for the hardware situation. And it looks like T6 on that inlay or onlay screw. It's going to be T6 on all those. And then it looks like T8 for the pivot. I would like to see T8s all the way around. And they are a newer company. So, you know, kind of give them a little tap to let them know we prefer T8s, at least I do, and I think I speak for a few people out there. We would like to see T8s all the way around. Pocket clip, body screws, pivot, at the minimum, T8s all the way around. I think I speak for a few people at least. I bet there's a couple of us who think that. Run this through a couple of checks here, and then we're going to introduce it to the spine whacker. Seems to cut really well here initially. I love the deployment options. I love the aesthetics. The fit and the finish of this is really, really nice. Everything is chamfered off nicely, smooth finishes, nothing poking out or sharp or anything like that, uneven. It's really, really good. Color me impressed. Detent is really nice. I'm a thumb flicker. I mean, I like all deployments, but something about just a good thumb flick feels nice to me, and this is beautiful for that. As I said though earlier, it's going to work well for the reverse flick, and that front flipper is done well. The jimping is nice. The height and distance is good, and then you combine that with the detent, going to work very well for you. The ergonomics seem to be pretty good, especially for, it's been entangled in a big mess when it comes to ergonomics. Of course, if you're going to squeeze something and squeeze the hell out of it for an extended period, it's your hand is going to be fatigued. Now, it can be less fatigued with various handles and so on, but realistically, most people are going to pick up a knife and they're going to have a very casual grip to the knife. They're not going to be squeezing the hell out of it. Like for me, I often will kind of just grab the knife like this by the blade, or I'll get in like an index grip, something like that. I'm very rarely here and squeezing the hell out of it. But even considering that part of it, it felt pretty good for a knife that really isn't meant for that type of work. It isn't meant to be, can it do that stuff? Yes. Can it go out into the woods and do various tasks? Yes, it can. But I would say it's not designed or created for that, this specific knife. This is a daily cutter, a daily utility knife that has a lot of flair to it, good premium materials, a good clean aesthetic. Kind of reminds me of a futuristic or more modern gentleman utility knife. Now, I have waited to check it on this knife, but I don't think I felt it on this one. We're going to check up and down and side to side to see if there's any movement, and this knife does not have that. And like I said, and I gave the knife its credit in that unboxing of the Moel, I said that it could be this specific one. It's kind of a one-off deal, and it might not be, you know, a widespread issue. It most likely isn't. And as I said, I've heard from a ton of people who've bought different KniClad knives, and everybody seems to be very happy so far. So the future looks very bright for KniClad. We're going to introduce the Lyrin here to the spine whacker and see what he has to say. We'll start off with a light tap out there towards the tip. That puts a ton of stress on that lock. And a lighter tap, but still a solid tap, and it sounded good. We're going to move to the middle here. We're not doing this to see if you can hammer a nail into a tree with the spinier blade. We're doing this just in case of accidents. We don't want that lock just lackadaisically failing on us for basically no reason. That is the way we hold. This is the way that I can hold companies' feet to the fire to try to make sure we're getting knives that we're getting folding knives that are locking folding knives that stay locked up. And let's give it a double tap here. Very good. Very, very good. Sounds good, feels good. This is an awesome, awesome design. For those of you who aren't even familiar with KniClad knives, I would definitely recommend going and checking out their website to see what they have to offer. They have some really cool designs, all kinds of different versions, and a nice range of price points as well, different blade shapes. Really cool stuff. I will have a link down in the description, and if I can get you a discount code, that will be down there as well. What do you think of the Lyrin, and do you own any KniClad knives? I look forward to hearing from you. Do me a solid, hit the thumbs up button, and if you don't ever want to miss a video, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. I'll pop up a couple of videos you haven't seen yet. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.